At the impeachment hearings, and attendance on the rise for Oklahoma teachers. OU Nightly starts now. Good evening and thanks for joining us for OU Nightly. I'm Cal Day.
And I'm Mariah Conduff. We begin with breaking news.
That's right. 2 airmen stationed in Oklahoma are dead following a plane crash near Vance Air Force Base. The U.S. Air Force says the accident, which involved 2 jets, happened during a training mission near the base. Vance is near Enid in Garfield County, about 85 miles northwest of Oklahoma City. The air base emergency response teams were alerted to the crash shortly after 9 o'clock this morning. We also know that 2 others were also taking part in the mission. An investigation into the incident is underway. The names of the 2 men killed have not been released.
In day 5, the Trump impeachment hearings are in the books. CNN's Suzanne Malvo reports as the House committee prepares to hear more testimony.
Gordon Sondland started with a very blunt admission.
Was there a quid pro quo? The answer is yes.
And the U.S. ambassador to the European Union says many at the highest levels of President Trump's inner circle knew about it. Sondland implicates Vice President Mike Pence, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Energy Secretary Rick Perry, and Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney.
Everyone was in the loop. It was no secret.
Sondland telling House investigators that President Trump directed him to work with Rudy Giuliani, who orchestrated the deal, conditioning Ukraine's nearly $400 million in military aid and a possible meeting at the White House with announcing investigations into his political rivals.
We did not want to work with Mr. Giuliani. Simply put, we were playing the hand we were dealt. Mr. Giuliani's requests were a quid pro quo for arranging a White House visit for President Zelensky.
Democrats say the abuse of power is clear.
It goes right to the heart of the issue of bribery, as well as other potential high crimes or misdemeanors.
Republicans maintain the president's innocence.
No one on this planet told you that President Trump was tying aid to investigations. Yes or no?
Yes.
So, you really have no testimony today that ties President Trump to a scheme to withhold aid from Ukraine in exchange for these investigations.
Other than my own presumption.
Which is nothing.
In the second hearing of the day, top Pentagon official Laura Cooper debunking a Republican defense of the president, testifying Ukrainian officials knew there were problems with their military aid on July 25th, the same day as Trump's phone call with Ukraine's president.
I would say that specifically the Ukrainian embassy staff asked what is going on with Ukrainian security assistance.
President Trump emerging from the White House fighting back, reading off a marker-filled note card.
So here's my answer. I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo.
But House Democrats feel their abuse of power case against the president is getting stronger.
Remember, the most damning words come from the president himself. So regardless of what he told Ambassador Sondland or really anybody else, the president's own words are damning to him.
Today is the last day of the scheduled hearings with the House Intelligence Committee. The next step is for the committee to prepare a report, and then the House would vote on impeachment. Then the process continues in the Senate.
Well, things may be heating up in Washington, but in our part of the state, things are starting to get a little cloudy, a little bit more rainy out there.
Yes. Taylor Stephenson is here to let us know how long this weather is going to stick around. Taylor?
Oklahoma has really been playing with our emotions over the past few days. We were in the 70s a few days ago, and now we're sitting in the 40s. We have a 22-degree temperature drop here in Norman, and out in Guyman, a 25-degree temperature drop. And if you see that little purple area, that's that colder air that's going to start creeping into our area over the next couple of hours. Now, looking at our current radar and our current cameras, we have Oklahoma City in these 3, and you see those overcast skies, and Norman's looking a little bit gloomier because we had that rain in our area. But Oklahoma City right now, we're sitting in those 40s right now with that that dew point at 40 degrees, and that's why we're seeing those overcast skies and that rainy weather. Coming up in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about where more rain could be hitting our area, how Friday is going to be super cold, and then we have a weekend warm-up just in time for our game against TCU on Saturday. Mariah and Cal, back to you.
Thank you, Taylor. More than 1,700 new educators are now teaching in classrooms across the Sooner State. Joy Hoffmeister, the State Superintendent of Public Instruction, says that Oklahoma has seen significant growth in its teacher workforce in the last 2 years. Hoffmeister calls the announcement a win for Oklahoma kids, but says there's still work to do. The announcement comes after state lawmakers passed consecutive pay raises for teachers in the state.
Well, it's been a busy day at the nation's capital. Aside from the impeachment hearings, our Jackson Wojan's been following these stories in the News Center. Jackson.
Thanks, Cal. The Senate on Thursday passed a short-term funding bill to prevent a government shutdown earlier today. This exact bill has been sitting around since September and was extended that month in order to avoid an initial shutdown. Today, the vote was easily confirmed by senators with a 47 yeas and 20 nays. The funding from the previous extension expires at midnight tonight, and this new extension will go to President Donald Trump for his expected signature. And announced earlier today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is facing 1 account of bribery, 3 counts of fraud, and a breach of trust in 3 different cases, as the country is set to head into its 3rd national election in a year. This is the first time in Israel's history that a sitting prime minister faces indictment in criminal investigations. Netanyahu has expressed that these charges against him is an attempted coup against the prime minister and has called them a witch hunt. And Catholic priest Luke DeLeft was formerly convicted of abusing children in Europe, has been accused of abusing at least 2 boys in Central African Republic. As all this comes after the Catholic order knew he had been convicted and has been moving him around. The 50-year-old priest was removed from his most recent post after CNN revealed new accusations against him. This has since raised questions about the vetting process for one of the world's largest Catholic non-governmental organization networks, and comes as the church struggles to move from previous decades of sexual abuse scandals from members of the clergy. And with more candidates joining the 2020 presidential race, former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg officially filed an official statement of candidacy today with the Federal Election Commission. Bloomberg has not yet made a final decision on if he's going to launch a campaign, but campaign aide has expressed that he's another step closer to running. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Jackson. Coming up, find out what all the buzz at the Innovation Hub is about. This special event is happening right now.
Plus, a home sharing company is partnering with the Olympics. Find out why when OU Nightly continues. Well, the 2nd annual OU Entrepreneurship Expo is going on right now at the OU Innovation Hub. OU Nightly's Talon Forbis has details from today's event.
This expo offers a chance for the community to share their business ideas and products here at the OU Innovation Hub.
Last year was the first year, and we had over 400 attendees and over 40 exhibitors representing students, community members, alumni, staff. And the energy was an incredible success, and immediately the community and OU was asking to host it again.
The OU Innovation Hub is home to the event where a lot of work has to be done for the expo to come to life.
The iHub is an incredibly cool place, and the majority of the furniture can be moved around. And so it takes an entire day to prepare for the expo. And this year we are getting creative in that design, so we can have at least probably 10 to 12 more exhibitors.
The event being open to more than just students allows an opportunity for the community to come together.
Sometimes we seem to sort of operate, in isolation from each other, but this is part of an ongoing effort that we are making to integrate what the university is doing with what the community is doing.
Talon Forbis, OU Nightly.
Still time to make the expo. It will be going on till 7 o'clock tonight.
Yes, and PayPal announces it will buy the deal-finding app Honey for multi-billions of dollars. Robert McGee has more on this in Money Matters. Robert?
Thanks, Mariah. Yes, PayPal recently stated they will be acquiring Honey for $4 billion, mostly in cash. Honey is an in-browser application that automatically finds rewards and discounts at checkout. PayPal faces growing competition from companies like Apple and Google, which now offers ways to pay online. Credit cards like Visa and MasterCard are also seeking out other ways of processing payments. The partnership between PayPal and Honey still needs regulatory approvals, but the company expects it to close in the first quarter of 2020. And more than 12,000 WeWork employees are bracing for mass layoffs this week. An email sent to staff on Monday says the executive chairman confirmed layoffs are imminent. While he didn't say how many would lose their jobs, the necessary job eliminations will, quote, start in earnest this week in the U.S. Reports say that many of the positions being cut are part of their core co-working business, and this all comes just 1 month after SoftBank took majority ownership of the company. And Airbnb announces they are partnering with the Olympics for the next 8 years. The International Olympic Committee and rental company made the announcement this week. The partnership means that Airbnb housing will be made available for visitors and workers. This could reduce the need for cities who host the Olympics to build extra hotels. Cities that plan for the Olympics wind up spending billions of dollars on taxpayer money, and the deal begins at next year's Summer Games in Tokyo. And if you're on the market to buy a pair of Yeezys, now may be no better time. The new shoes will cost you $75 and be made out of environmentally friendly algae foam. Back to you, the desk.
Thanks, Robert. An investigation begins at an Oklahoma school after one student brings a sweet treat. Find out what happened on the school bus when we return.
Plus, Taylor is tracking chances for rain in her extended forecast.
We have rain right now. The rain's going to continue into tonight, but I'll let you know when that rain will dissipate coming up after the break. Welcome back to OU Nightly. It is a rainy and cold day here in Oklahoma, and with these 4 boxes we have here, Oklahoma City and these 3, we do have some overcast skies. The sun is trying to peek out, but in Norman we are seeing those gloomier skies. But zooming into our beautiful skyline, we're sitting in the mid-40s with those overcast skies, and that dew point sitting at 40 degrees. That's why it's overcast, and we're seeing some of that rain. And some of that rain has now moved east up into Tulsa and Muskogee, and it's starting to become more heavy and getting some of those stronger storms up there. But we do have some chances for rain tonight. Now, chances are going to start increasing as we go towards the later parts of tonight and early into tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. We have some chances of rain right here in Norman for your early morning commute along I-35, but that is going to clear as we go into the later parts of Friday, especially around Friday at 2 p.m. We're just seeing some overcast skies, but no rain associated with that. Tonight, though, 37 degrees here in Norman, and it's right around what we're seeing for this time of year. And then down in our friends in Idabel are seeing those 50s. So we really want to be like you, Idabel, but that warm up is coming soon, but not tomorrow. 38 degrees as you wake up and walk out the door at 8 a.m. and then we're only going to warm up to 40 degrees. So please pull out those jackets. You're going to need them tomorrow. Another cold day for us here in Oklahoma. But if you're going to the game on Saturday, we're going to warm up and we're going to be in those lower 50s for that game time at 7 p.m. And it's going to be nice with no rain in that forecast. But looking into the rest of our week, we're going to have that rain taper off into Friday, and Saturday we're going to warm up to the 50s. And then when we get into the rest of our week, starting on Sunday, we're going to be sitting in the 60s with that sun out. And then there's no more rain in the forecast until maybe later next week.
Oh, that is insane. I was really liking that warmer temperature.
The roller coaster continues back and forth, back and forth.
That's just Oklahoma for you.
Very true. Thank you, Taylor. Well, an investigation begins in a cannabis gummy candy after an Oologah student got a hold of weed gummies and passed them out to other students on a school bus. A middle school student has been expelled since the incident occurred. Oologah School District immediately contacted the local police department after the incident. It is still unclear how the student got a hold of the candy. Luckily, no students experienced any strange side effects. This incident is still being investigated.
Well, Week 12 of the NFL season kicks off tonight with 2 division rivals squaring off.
That's right. Zach Verdea is here with a preview of the matchup with the Colts and Texans.
Yeah, another big rivalry game. We'll have to see if this one will end like with the craziness that last week did. And the Sooner volleyball team took the court last night in Manhattan. I'll tell you if they bounce back from their loss last week. Sports is on the way. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Zach Verdea, and it's time for sports. The volleyball team was back in action last night for the first time since last Friday, and they did not disappoint. The Sooners picked up their third sweep in Big 12 play by making quick work of Kansas State on the road, taking it 3-0. Ashlyn Dunbar led the team with 16 kills in the contest as they cruised to a season sweep of the Wildcats. Check out the seniors in their final home matchup at McCaslin Fieldhouse tomorrow against West Virginia. And not one but two Sooners have been named as semifinalists for the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award. Senior QB Jalen Hurts and junior receiver C.D. Lamb can add this to their growing list of accolades. The award recognizes the top offensive player in Division I football that was born in, graduated high school, or played at a college in Texas. And speaking of Jalen Hurts, he has had plenty of attention off the field for his serious demeanor and no-nonsense attitude. But head coach Lincoln Riley says the team sees a different side of Jalen behind the scenes.
I think that's an important part of this game. And, I've had guys like him before that take it so seriously. And he does have fun. He has more fun with it than probably you guys see on the outside.
And on to another quarterback in the state of Oklahoma. OSU Cowboys quarterback Spencer Sanders' season is over. The redshirt freshman underwent thumb surgery and will miss the remainder of the season. He has led the Pokes to a 7-3 record while throwing 16 touchdowns on the season. They will now lean even heavier on Heisman candidate Chuba Hubbard for the final 2 games of the regular season. And the women's basketball team added another win yesterday morning in Norman. OU led 46-18 at the half and cruised to a blowout win over Stephen F. Austin, 75-62. Taylor Robertson put up 19 points, and Anna Yanusa matched that with 5 assists and 4 boards. They improved to 3-1 on the season and will travel to Houston for a Saturday matchup. And coming off a 5-point win on Monday night, the men's basketball team will host Maryland Eastern Shore in their final home game of the fall semester. The undefeated Sooners are led by the Wichita State transfer and leading scorer Austin Reeves, who's putting up 17.3 points a game. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock at Lloyd Noble Center. And another Thursday night matchup takes place tonight as the Indianapolis Colts ride a big win into Houston. Deshaun Watson and the Texans, on the other hand, will look to get back in form after a brutal 41-7 loss in Baltimore last week. Kickoff is at 7:20 tonight on Fox. And a week after the on-field squabble between Browns defensive end Myles Garrett and Pittsburgh's quarterback Mason Rudolph, the NFL has upheld Garrett's indefinite suspension, while Steelers center Marquise Pouncey's suspension was reduced from 3 games to 2. And I don't know what kind of game we'll see tonight, but I'm not sure if we're going to see J.J. Watt or any Texans going after anybody tonight.
I got a feeling for some reason the ratings on this Thursday night game might just be through the roof.
Yeah, people might be expecting something exciting.
Yeah, we'll be seeing. We'll watch for sure.
Thanks, Zach. Coming up, cameras catch a bank robber caught in the action and his not-so-smooth exit when OU Nightly continues.
I'm Shannon Ehrhardt, the OU Nightly Update Desk. The Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals has convicted a Tulsa woman of murder and a prison sentence for life. Now, the 41-year-old Katesha Childers shot her husband back in July of 2017. The prosecutor said Childers shot Gregory Thomas because he refused to give her the keys to their home he moved out of. Childers' attorney had no comment. That's it for now. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Shannon. Well, criminals are sometimes known for their stealth and attention to detail. Well, not in the case of this Louisiana bank robber.
This surveillance video shows the man falling on the job not once, not twice, but 3 times while trying to flee the scene. Louisiana police are still searching for the not-so-smooth criminal.
I've got to say, out of all the plans this guy came up with, I don't think that was his best one.
Right. I'm surprised he was still successful after falling 3 times.
You got to watch for those shrubs. You really do. They'll sneak up on you.
And it wasn't even raining, so I don't understand. I mean, on a day like this, I could understand that maybe he would slip a few times with the weather, the rain and the weather. But we're gonna have some rain tonight, and then on tomorrow we're gonna kind of clear out, and then for our game on Saturday, it's gonna be beautiful.
Right.
We're gonna have some clear skies, and then we're gonna, cool down into like the 50s. But it's gonna be a very nice game day.
Good.
So,
Yes, we love that for some Sooner football.
So we should keep that umbrella heavy, or handy rather.
Yes, for tonight, but then tomorrow is going to be a nice clear out to our weekend.
Great, thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Taylor. And thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication, right here on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.